In the last video, in the initialization of array, we saw an example, mark, word, and these are the initial values. So this is an array of 3 integers. So 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. So this is the index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2. The name of the array is mark. Okay, and it's in the middle of the array, something like that. So this is the way the array will be initialized. Now let's look into reading elements from array. So when you read an elements from array, you may have to use load word. Like we already see load word LW. The synonym is the symbolic notation is LW, load word. We already saw one example, but we will look into the load word closely. The syntax of the load word. Let's say LW is the notation, and we will be writing the destination register, and here comes the offset, inside the bracket base address. So this is the syntax. Example, let's assume that you would like to access or read third element of the array. Third element of an array. Okay, let's look into the example. You have few elements. Let's say 5 elements, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The name of the array is, let's say, mark. Okay then. So let's start from this side, base address. What do you mean by base address is, in your memory is a huge memory. Your array starts or stored somewhere in your memory. So this is the beginning of the array, first element, second, third, fourth, fifth element. So the address of the first element, that is called base address. So this is called base address, the address. Normally the address you will be, let's say for example, if this is 0, this will be 4, this will be 8, 12, 16 for example. Okay, in case if it starts in the beginning of the memory, something like that. Okay, I need to take the address. I want to know the address. I can find out. How do I get the address? You already studied load address and then a register, let's say a 0. The name of the array is mark. So the address of array mark is stored onto this register. Address means there are many elements. The base address, the beginning of the array will be in register as 0. Okay, now I got the base address. Now let's look into the offset. What's the question? Read the third element of the array. Third element. First, second, third. This element. Okay then. So I want to read this element. Already I mentioned in the previous lecture, it's every element need 4 bytes. 4 bytes, 4 bytes, 4 bytes. Every integer element need 4 bytes, is it? Now I want to know I want to read the third element. What is the index of the third element? Okay, let me calculate offset. So what will be the offset? The index, I want to read the third element. So this is the third element. So index multiplied by 4. So the index is 2 multiplied by 4, that's equal to 8. So this is my offset. So I know my base address, what to write, and I know the offset, what to write. Destination register, you can write anything. So let's go back to this example. Read third element. I'm going to use load word. I'll write a destination register, for example T0. Offset, just now I calculated. Base address is in the register S0. That's it, finish. So what do you have it in memory? Third element will be loaded onto this register. So let's say the memory contains some values. like 8, 88, 41, 52, 6. So the third element contains 41. So the value 41 is loaded onto register T0. Okay then. So this is about reading. Okay, we know how to declare an array, how to initialize an array, and how to read elements from the array. Now let's look into one complete programming example. Let's see. I'm going to initialize an array of 3 integers. You know already you can manage 3 integers. I want to read the values. I'm going to read the values of the array and I will print them. Okay, so I'm going to read and I'm going to print them. Before solving this, let's look into the idea. What we saw just now for reading, I say use load word. So we now know how to use the load word. So the array contains array contains 3 elements. So in the array there are 3 elements, 1, 2, 3 elements, 0, 1, 2. This is the index. So if I want to read the first element, I will say load word register T1 and then offset base address. So let me find out the base address. S0 array name is, let's say the array name is mark again. So mark. So this is the offset. This is the base address register S0. Offset. I told you how to calculate the offset. Index times 4. So 0. So this is reading the first element. So this is the first element. How do I read? If I want to read the second element, I'll do the same. Load word, another register T2 and index multiplied by 4. 1 multiplied by 4, 4. And then base address. Fine. And now I'm going to go for third element. Same. Now T3 and index multiplied by 4. 2 into 4 is 8. Okay, then fine.